Hello, I am Bob Barnes, and I have the privilege of being the president of the International Board of Directors of the Viktor Frankl Institute of Logotherapy. And it is in their behalf and in behalf of my wife, Dorothy, that I want to offer official greetings to you there in Israel at your first international conference. I would like to say that two people there who are so very special to us, always every 2 years at our World Congress on Logotherapy in Dallas, two people, Judith and Gideon Milieu. To them I extend special greetings. Judith and Gideon are somewhat surrogate parents, or maybe even for the younger ones, surrogate grandparents to participants in our World Congress. Also, I want to extend special greetings to our dear, beautiful Haya Horvitz, tall, elegant, beautiful lady whose spirit is always so loving and so humble. But very, very special greetings to Dr. Taria Chantal. Some of you who haven't had the opportunity to come to our World Congresses in Dallas may not be aware of the fact that Dr. Chantal, who has worked so hard to help organize the Institute there in Israel and also the Institute in South Africa, Dr. Chantal is often described by participants at our World Congress in Dallas as this angel who floats through the corridors of the hotel. She's dearly loved and so very profoundly admired. I first met Professor Viktor Frankl at a World Congress in Canada in 1984. He was talking to a young man, dearly loved by all of us who came to know him, by the name of Jerry Long, later even Dr. Jerry Long. Jerry had been in an accident and had broken his neck and became a quadriplegic, which, as you know, means that he could control nothing nor feel nothing from his neck down. When he was 19 years old and returned to junior college, Jerry's professor assigned the students to read Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. After reading that book, Jerry wrote to Professor Frankl and said, "You were in prison. I am in prison. But your book has taught me how I can be free. The accident broke my neck, but it didn't break me." I had this strange, spontaneous reaction when I first met Jerry. I met him and simultaneously and spontaneously burst into tears. Why? Because I think that seeing Jerry reminded me how very fortunate and blessed I am. You see, when I was 13 years old, I had polio. Our neighbors had built a new swimming pool in their backyard, and 8 of us children who swam in that pool all got polio the same week. It was 2 years before the polio vaccine was available here in the United States. I was out of school for a year. When I returned to junior high school, I had a brace on one of my legs and a metal crutch clamped on each of my arms. That's the way I went through high school, but by the time I was ready for college, I no longer had to use that brace, and I walked with only one cane. I really became so independent that I just took for granted that I had a slight limp. And seeing Jerry that many years ago reminded me how really fortunate I am. I met Professor Frankl there in 1984, And by 1986, there was this special bond that developed between us. He used to call me his private pupil. We had many, many wonderful telephone tutorials and visits over the years. And in the latter years, he gave me the privilege of recording those long conversations. And of course, they are a treasure to me. In 1993, back in Toronto, I was elected president of the International Board of Directors. And of course, my close contact with Dr. Frankl continued. Finally, by the spring and summer of 1996, Viktor Frankl was calling me and saying, "Bob, come to Vienna. You and Dorothy must come and see me soon, or we're going to have to wait until we are together in heaven someday for our reunion." That summer, Dorothy and I traveled between summer school sessions at this beautiful university, Hardin-Simmons University, that has served as the international headquarters of the Viktor Frankl Institute. We traveled between summer school sessions simply for a weekend to be with the Frankls. And it was at that time that he gave me his blessing, and also at that time that I pledged to him that in addition to earning a living, I would spend the remaining energies of my life helping to promote his work around the world. Also, that same weekend, we flew from Vienna to Munich to visit with Elizabeth Lucas, who also had become one of my primary mentors. And I hope that some of you have had the privilege of studying with Dr. Lucas also. Then a condition set in that really began to illustrate to me, with flashbacks on Jerry in his wheelchair, a condition known as the post-polio syndrome began to set in. I began to lose the use of my arms. My shoulders became dislocated because the doctors said that I'd used my shoulders and my arms all these years the way others use their hips and their legs. And so now, as you see me sitting here, I no longer have full use of my arms, nor of course my shoulders. And then another condition set in, which was something that Viktor Frankl had experienced. One day at the ophthalmologist's office, the eye doctor said to me, "You know, you have macular degeneration, and it is fast advancing." And I thought, oh, that's what Professor Frankl had that led to his blindness. So I rushed home and I called Dr. Frankl's precious Ellie, and I said, "How long after Dr. Frankl's diagnosis did Dr. Frankl actually become blind?" And she said, "About 10 years, Bob." Those 10 years have passed, and I no longer can read, nor can I see you unless you're right in front of my face. But you know, all of this helps me to be a living validation of Frankl's theory, and that is that everything can be taken away from us in life. Everything. Our health, our material possessions, our loved ones, everything except our freedom to choose how we will respond to the circumstances of our life. How do you respond? Don't let the little things get you down, nor even the big things. You know, one of our keynote speakers at our World Congress several years ago was Rabbi Harold Kushner, and he referred to the scriptures where it says, "Every valley shall be exalted, There's no one there among you today that isn't acquainted with some of life's valleys. But if you don't give up, if you keep on climbing, you not only can exalt those valleys, but with practicing the theory Frankl gave us, you can help others to ascend and become more of what the Creator intended for them to be. At our Jubilee 20th World Congress on Viktor Frankl's Logotherapy, our keynote speaker will be Dr. Arun Gandhi, grandson of the great man of peace, Mahatma Gandhi. Humanity's search for peace and purpose, all of us who are professional psychotherapists and who use Frankl's theory of logotherapy, agree that at the point that a patient begins to sense purpose for his life, that marks the turning point in his recovery. From us here in the United States and to our sister institutes around the world, we extend heartfelt greetings and congratulations to you. May you also be a part of promoting Frankl's work around the world and helping others to find peace and purpose and meaning in their life. Thank you.